Well, thank you for showing up to my live stream. I'm sorry I haven't had one of these in must be weeks now. For those of you who are just tuning in, maybe on the rebroadcast, or maybe just tuning into the live stream for the first time, I'm John from Flippin' Ain't Easy, and this program is to really the purpose is to answer your questions and to sort of talk to you about things that I encounter all the time with my eBay business. And so it looks like we have some people in the chat so far. We have Highland Honey, Treasure Seeker, Rated Forever, and Kevin Hawthorne. Thank you guys for showing up early into the chat. We have only about 6 or 7, and the way things turn out, a lot of people show up, as we get going. But I don't have a whole lot of content on this Sunday. I really don't. I've been working my tail off, and it's funny. Jenna told me to, and that's my wife, Jenna. She told me to, take a day off, and so of course I took a day off yesterday. Ran some scheduled listings, and my day off had zero to do with relaxation. I'm just the kind of person that I'm always on the go. Just go, 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 go. And yeah, relaxing sounds fine, but it's not something that I like to do. So, and it's always a good idea, and it's really healthy to take time off for yourself. I just don't know how to do it like a lot of people do, and that's just to take it easy. I just don't know what that is. We've got about 9 people in the chat. I'll give it a few more minutes. For those of you guys right now who are with us, thank you for showing up. Certainly, if you want to support the program, super chats, things like that, we put it right back into the channel, and I appreciate for those of you who have in the past done that. It really makes it a little bit easier for us to, do things like this, and I certainly appreciate it. Anybody who's watching the program after the fact, please do me a favor. Leave your comments down below, as I always usually ask. If there's any content here that has helped you, or if you can add to the conversation, and of course, if you're watching it after the fact, you can't participate, but you can certainly add to the conversation for those who are watching the video later on, in the week. So I'd certainly appreciate any comments you can put down below. We have Richard Howard. How are you doing? How are you doing, Richard? I've recently been buying board games and stuff to put on eBay. Got any tips on that? Well, Richard, I can tell you that I've sold a couple board games. I think I had 3 Catan board games. I think I'm pronouncing that right, Catan. And, really all you can do, because I've never played that board game, and it's been years since I've played board games. You just got to go in and make sure that you cross off all the pieces that the instructions make reference to. The last thing you want to do is to sell a board game that's incomplete. And certainly you can sell pieces of board games if you do have an incomplete set. There's a lot of people out there that sell like Monopoly, like different tokens and maybe the hotels and things like that. You'll be surprised how many people lose their pieces on board games. And eBay is probably one of the first places they go to find those pieces. But really, I don't get a whole lot of board games. I think I bought a toy lot about a month or 2 ago, and it had a few in there, but mostly, you'll find a lot of those at yard sales and thrift stores, and I just don't do that. I do a lot of liquidation, as you guys know. Wanted to talk to you guys about free returns versus buyer pays. What do you guys think about that? For me, I'm finding that eBay wants us so bad to utilize free returns that they're willing to change their policies and try to enforce policies that aren't even written in order for us to maybe coerce us into these free returns. And I understand that's what the buyer wants. eBay wants to support what the buyer wants, regardless what the sellers want. But if you look at Amazon, I mean, I buy liquidation returns from Amazon all the time. Amazon has so many returns that they don't even know what to do with the liquidation that they have. I mean, there were stories months ago about them putting their liquidation merchandise in the landfills and things like that. So that's because a lot of times they're offering free returns, or they make it easy for the buyer to just, for whatever reason, to avoid paying for that return label. And I get it. It makes for a good customer experience, but they fail to think about what it does to our bottom line. I mean, if you're selling something that's under £1, then in my opinion, yeah, it's not a bad thing to offer free returns. But anything larger than that, honestly, I don't offer free returns, only on the smaller stuff. And that's because I don't want to be stuck with the 10, 20, $30 return label when the customer selects change my mind. And I, of course, don't have those kind of returns because I'm not offering free returns. So what do you guys think? What's the argument behind that? I know that you get a 10% discount as a top-rated seller. You're a considered top-rated seller plus when you offer free returns. And, over, 200 sales in a month. That's about what I do on average, is about 200 sales in a month. It could save you quite a bit of money, and maybe that savings will offset the cost of those shipping labels that you end up dealing with. I just got to tell you, I don't see how it will benefit my sales or add to many more of my sales than it already is. I think I have a pretty good sale rate as it is, and I just don't want to be bothered with it. What bothers me about it is that eBay, I had this return, and the return came back to me with it had an issue with, I think there's a couple screws missing. In fact, if you look behind me, there is a box that says Assassin 3. That's a CPU cooler. And this buyer, who happens to also sell on eBay, they bought this from me, and they opened it up, and they claim it was not in the condition that it was open box, very good condition kind of thing. I did not state that it was new. I guess the expectation is that it was new. And fine, I accepted the return. They sent it back. They took no care at all to package it up to where the box, you can't really see it, but the other side of the box is just mangled. And it's because they didn't bother to protect it. And it's almost like there's a part in there that's missing. There's some proprietary screws that only work with this cooler, and you can't find them in a hardware store. And they went in and they took, I think they took one of those and like the cap piece. So they returned everything else back. Well, I can't sell this as a complete set now. So I need to contact the manufacturer, and they decided they were going to leave me negative feedback, open a return, all that. And in my mind, I thought, no problem, I'll accept the return, get the negative feedback removed once the item comes back, and I give them a refund, not knowing, of course, I was going to have to give them a partial because they didn't return the complete set. And, of course, I made the mistake of calling eBay, because I like to, if I'm going to deal with this, I don't want to be typing anything on my phone. I just put them on speaker and I'm listening, and I can have the conversation while I do that. But everyone was telling me, negative feedback is a subjective thing, and buyers can leave whatever feedback they like. And I said, guys, it's in your policy, your seller protection policy, that states that when we have to utilize our seller protection, like deal with an adjusted refund, you guys will also work with us to deal with the negative and neutral feedback. Got nowhere with that. Contacted eBay for Business, which is sort of my go-to, but of course I had to type it all out, and got a reply from a representative who tried to tell me that, they couldn't take off the negative feedback. And, again, I pointed to the policy, and they said, well, no, you have to offer free returns to get that. Now, nowhere in the policy does it even say the word free, but they're utilizing their own judgment. And I don't know if eBay is telling the representatives that we need to push these free returns, but it's almost causing reps to make up policy, because I'm still looking for where it says under seller protection that a top rated seller has to offer free returns. The requirement is only 30-day, and it doesn't utilize the word free. Now, if you're above standard or a different level under top rated seller, then it does have to be free returns to get that assistance. I don't know. I'm beside myself. I really, I've let it go. I've gotten past it, but it just drives me crazy that eBay isn't consistent. And that's one thing that I really wish they would start being more consistent. We have the Aussie Hustler. Good morning from down under, 7 a.m. here. How you doing? Thank you for tuning in. I'm glad we were able to start your Monday off for you. We have Wanda Greer. Howdy, everyone from North Carolina. Daydreamer in North Carolina. How you doing, Wanda? Thanks for being part of this broadcast. We have Jonathan Miller. When are we going to get Flippin' Ain't Easy merchandise? I'm very afraid of that subject. And the reason is, I don't know if I shared this story with you guys. I was looking at the idea of maybe doing that. And I know that there are some Flippin' Ain't Easy shirts and stuff on Amazon. I also know that there is somebody who recently this year went in and put in a patent or a trademark for Flippin' Ain't Easy. They're a house flipper. And the crazy thing is, where I used to live in Southern California 2 years ago, this person lives in that area. I don't know this person. I've seen the actual paperwork that they've submitted for the name, and I don't know who this person is. They're a house flipper, and I'm very afraid to do a lot with merch on the channel, because if they come swooping right in after they're approved, they're in the middle of the approval process for that Flippin' Ain't Easy trademark. I don't want to have to deal with that. And I looked at other YouTube channel names, a lot of the bigger YouTubers that talk about eBay, and none of them have anything, any trademarks, and they're, doing merch and all that. So maybe it's not a big deal, but I'm really concerned about that, to the point where I was going to pay about $1,500 just to try to put in a common law trademark to dispute that trademark. But I don't want to dump $1,500 in on something like that. I mean, if it comes down to it, I don't know, maybe I'd have to change the channel name, but I just don't know if merch is something that I would do. Put your comments down below. Let me know what you guys think. But who would even buy a Flippin' Ain't Easy mug or t-shirt? I mean, maybe there's plenty of you who would, but just let me know. This channel is really for you guys. And if you guys want it, I'll definitely pursue it. I've been having a lot of returns lately, 5 or 6 in the last month, that are just because the buyer bought the wrong part, and that just irritates me. I have to pay for shipping for that item to come back. And yeah, it is irritating. It's irritating when you clearly state in the description and in the condition box, and that's what I do. I put it in both places. Here's the problem with this item. Yet eBay, and I blame some of this on eBay, not just the customer, because a lot of people buy your merchandise through the eBay app on their phone. And if you go on and just search for any item, click on an item, and look for that item description. Now, you may find a hyperlink that you eventually have to click that says item description or see description, but it's not obvious. And unless someone's looking for more information other than you've classified this as a, let's say a used item, but along with it being used, it doesn't come with the charger, and you didn't put that in your title, because let's face it, 80 characters isn't a whole lot to put everything you want to put in there. And my customers aren't searching for maybe no charger. I want to cover everything that customer is searching for. So I take it upon myself, put it in the condition and in the description. But eBay's not making it easy for that buyer to find that information. And now they get the item, they find out they have no charger. Well, who are they blaming? They're blaming eBay, but really they're blaming you, the seller, because you weren't clear in your description. And for me, I'd rather have um, buyer pays for returns. It just fits my model. Everyone has a little different business model. Like the clothing I've been listing, I have like 17 boxes of clothing. I think I've gone through 3, and I still have about 14 to go through. I'm just dealing with my hard goods and stuff right now. And on the clothing, it's free returns because I can ship most of those either in a poly bag under a pound, or I could fit it in a flat rate type envelope, and it's not going to be more than $7-8 anyway. And that's just what I do. And everyone's going to be different, I know, but put your comments down below or in the chat and let me know how you feel about free returns. Do you offer free returns, or do you make your buyer pay if they want to return it back? And of course, remember, guys, I didn't give you an option C. There is no such thing as no returns. The buyer wants to say item not as described, you're on the hook 100% for that return. And I have seen and been a victim of having a listing saying no returns. And of course, I'm on the hook for that return shipping, get the item back, and it's perfectly fine. And the buyer falsified that return request so that they wouldn't have to be on the hook for that return label. And Thrift Shop Hustler said, it's a black polo day for me also. Hey, flipping ain't easy. That's funny. FAE. One of my logos had FAE when I was getting my logos created for this channel. And I'm like, no one's going to know what FAE means. So I had to nix that. But Black Polo Day, you know what? I try to wear something different. I don't want to be that guy who shows up with the same shirt. I think last year I showed up like on every other episode of this show with my NASA shirt. Anybody who watches a lot of my content or has been with me since last year can go back and see that I wear that a lot. And I do wear those t-shirts every once in a while when I'm working and sourcing. But not so much when I'm on these programs. I want to at least be presentable. I mean, if I show up in a wife beater t-shirt or a shirt that's full of holes, I mean, who's really going to want to believe or give me any kind of credibility? And so, you kind of dress for the success that you want to portray, and that's what I'm kind of doing. This is my my 800 series shirt that I earned about 5 years ago. Shot my first 800 series in bowling, and bowling season's coming up here pretty soon. So I thought, you know what? I'll just go ahead and wear this. It's a little different. Okay, so all the things. I sell clothes and do free returns. I am good if they just say item does not fit. I sell 200 items a month, average 1 return a week. And if you're selling clothes and you're putting your your measurements like armpit to armpit, things of that nature, the inseam, you're going to give that buyer more informed information, and you're going to get less returns. I try to do that with the clothing that we put up. It's just a lot of measurements that you could potentially take. I think I received 1 clothing return out of the 30 or 40 that I listed, and it was on a bra, and I think she ordered the wrong size and realized that she goofed up, and she sent it back, and it was no problem. But yeah, a lot of people, they'll buy, say, that extra large t-shirt, and it comes in and it's a big boy medium, and or they've didn't realize that they've put on a couple pounds, and they now want to return it, and you're on the hook for that. So let's see. Flippin' ain't easy with a Z. ETC host, how you doing? Rated forever. Just like items you purchase in the store, the way I would figure it out would work is by increasing your item prices to cover your losses and pass it over to the customers. One of those phrases that people that have scolded me on some of my past videos, it's part of doing business. It's the cost of doing business. And you You're not always going to win in this business. I have to tell you that right now. Um, you're going to find that item that sells for 10, 20 times the amount you paid for it. And then you're going to sell that item that no matter how well you describe the item, it's going to come back and you're going to pay 10, 20, $30 for that return label, and you're going to lose on that item. So it's a game of winning and losing, and you want more wins than losses. And you just have to move past the losses, because if you dwell on those losses, it's going to hurt your success in pursuing those other wins that are waiting for you. So I know how some of you guys feel. I've felt it before. You get that return and it's a $200-$300 item, and you're going to have to refund that item $200-$300. You weren't expecting that, and it sort of crushes you to the point where it's like, wow, I don't even want to. Or if you get that return that you get and the buyer maybe damages your item or sends back the swap out, you feel like, you know what, do I really want to do this? Is this worth my time? Is this something I want to tolerate? I've been there many, many times, and you just got to get past it, send that partial refund or whatever, utilizing the refund tool, write it off in your mind as, I'm going to focus on getting more items up, and you're going to make sales, and that's just going to be sort of in the past. You just got to find a way to get past it. Nixon Barley, is eBay a bunch of dirt bags that are trying to trash PWCC because they're setting up their own buy it now marketplace? I heard that that theory, but there's an FBI investigation on that. Anyone who doesn't know what that is, PWCC is a very large trading card company on eBay, selling, I think, like $50 million a year in trading card memorabilia. And the allegation is that they were dealing with shill bids. And shill bids is something where, and this has been around forever, shill bids. In fact, when auctions were a big thing back years ago, more so than the buy it now is on eBay, that was a big no-no. It's always been a big no-no, but it was something that we knew you're not supposed to do, in that I'm going to have my buddy over here, I'm going to call him up, and he's going to go onto his account, and I need this item to sell for $20. I currently have it for 10, but it's not getting as much interest as I like. I've had a couple bids on it, but I really need to get that item up to 20. So I'd have Harry over here go on and bid it up, and we'd get it up to like 18, and hopefully one of these other bidders will jump on at the last minute and bring it up to my price. And when you do that, you are manipulating the market for that item. So we're dealing with collectibles when it comes to PWCC, and the allegation is that they're doing that. And if so, they are changing the value or the perceived value of a particular item. When it should be $10, the value is actually 50, because when you go to sell your item, you're going to see that PWCC sold the same item for 50, and your perception is that it should be 50, and then you only sell it for 10 or 15, and you're scratching your head thinking, well, they sold theirs for 50. It's not good for not just the buyer who's getting ripped off, but it's not good for other sellers who have a perception that something's worth a certain amount. Also, they were being accused, or they are being accused of going in and fixing some of their merchandise so that it gets a better grade when they send it in to be graded, whether they're cutting the card to where it's square, or they go in and there's stains on some of these older cards. They go in and utilizing some technology, they go in and they remove that stain so it looks like it never was there. And that's no good. If that happened, that's not good at all. But again, I believe the FBI is investigating it. If it was just eBay investigating it, then I would think something was kind of shady, because as we know, eBay, they don't like competition, and they don't like people, talking badly about them. if the Steiner case is any indication of, how they react to that. And that's e-commerce bites. If any of you guys want to read up on that, that happened last year. or actually early last year, if I'm not mistaken. But you can read on that. Just do a simple Google search on e-commerce bites and eBay, and you can read up all you want on that. David James, greeting from Arizona. I enjoy and learn from your videos. Thank you. Well, thank you, David, for watching my videos. I appreciate it. If I tell you, if I had the audience that I had last year at this time, and it still carried over to this year, which is only a couple hundred people, I think by now I probably would have just waved the white flag and gave up on it. But we're over 8,000 subscribers, and that's awesome. I think by the end of the year we'll be at 10,000. And who would have thought? Who would have thought that more than a handful of people would care to hear what I had to say? But I'm very humbled by it, and I really appreciate the fact that you guys take the time out of your Sunday. You could be doing all kinds of things, but you chose to hang out with me today. So I appreciate it. We're up to 40 people in the chat. Thank you. Want to keep this to about an hour, a little over an hour today. I have literally sitting right next to me a pile of about a couple pallets of toner, and you know what? I'm happy with that. If I could just sell toner, I would be happy. It's easy to list. Average price of goods is probably around $60 per unit as far as sell price, and moves fast, easy to handle, easy to ship. And the key to this business is finding maybe 1 or 2 items, branch it out to 5, maybe 10 items that you enjoy selling, that make you some money, have a customer demand. And for me, the biggest problem with this is just finding a reliable source. That's always been my problem with eBay. Finding that reliable source. And with that in mind, I'm going to ASD in Vegas. It's here in Vegas this week, I believe from Monday through Wednesday, if I'm not mistaken. And it's just a bunch of businesses that supply different types of merchandise. And it gives me a chance to go in and, as a buyer of that merchandise, maybe find a new source. I would absolutely love to find someone this week at one of these booths that they're going to have that will want to source me, at a fair price. And that's what I'm hoping for. So maybe I'll bump into that, maybe find that one of 10 or 20 different items I enjoy selling, and find a reliable source, so that maybe liquidation is sort of a secondary way to source, since that's my primary sourcing method. Excuse me. Let's see. We got Lola Perez. Hey, John, you're on live. Yeah, I'm on live. I am on live. Omni for Us 86, top rated seller plus not worth it. They give you that, they try to say, 10%. I noticed that on the items that I sell, that I do offer free shipping, those light items, that I'm getting a 10% discount on those items anyway. So it's not like 100% of your items have to be free returns. I had a rep over the phone try to tell me that. And my only response to that was, you guys got to stop making up policy. It's either it's written and that's the policy, or it's not. But, for me, it's not worth losing sleep whether or not you are a top rated seller. Offer free returns on the items that make sense. There's a lot of items that people will buy that won't even consider returning. Like, I find that my health and beauty items, generally, unless there's a problem with the item, they don't return that kind of stuff. And so it's, in my mind, a safe bet to put that as free returns, because chances are that's not coming back. And I've had good success with that. But I'm not going to go out of my way for free returns because eBay just so badly wants me to. We have the ATX Brit. Hi, I have now sold for a while, so I'm classes as casual or new seller, so my funds are on hold. Do I have to ship before I receive the funds? Absolutely, yes. You need to ship before you receive the funds. For a new seller and managed payments, eBay is waiting for that item to arrive to your buyer before they release the funds to your account. And I found this out only about a month ago. And that is a huge mistake. If you're holding on to that item, not shipping it because you are afraid that you're not going to get the money, maybe you don't have the money, um, you got to get it shipped. Maybe that's borrowing money. I had someone that asked me this question: what do I do if I'm having trouble making ends meet? I've sold some items and I can't afford the shipping. And, what do we do in that kind of situation? And this is one of those things where all I can do is kind of warn you ahead of time that you need to plan for this. If you're a new seller on eBay, you need to plan for the cost of shipping the items that you're selling, knowing that you're going to get that money back once eBay releases those funds. Either utilize a credit card that, maybe whether it has an existing balance on it or not, if you can utilize one that you can designate just for that and that you're going to pay off. The key is you're going to pay it off as soon as you get your money. Borrow money from a friend. Say, hey, I need to borrow $20. I have some money that's pending, and then pay them right back. You have to plan for this. And the biggest mistake people make when they're new is they finally get that money from eBay and they go out to eat, or they pay the bills because they got bills coming up, right? But that's a mistake. You should be doing other things to try to earn that money. Build a small eBay business to start. Allow that to build up. Keep rolling the funds over back into new merchandise, and then build a nest egg in your bank account, like $50 to $100, so that you can utilize that for those things as well. Now, eBay will allow you to utilize your funds on hold for shipping labels. You have to set it up that way. I don't personally have it that way because I like to utilize credit cards that give me cash back. I think I earn about $400 to $500 a year in rewards just from buying all my shipping labels. I have it attached to my PayPal account, and so I have PayPal as the primary funding method on my labels, but PayPal hits that credit card, and therefore I get all those rewards. That's how I do it. But you just have to have a plan. If you're just winging it on eBay when you're first starting, it's going to be tough. Take a lot of this information that you're learning, take a lot of the stuff that we're telling you in these videos, put it into practice. Yeah, it'll be painful for the first month, maybe 2 months before you finally get that nest egg, and then you can just take off. Audrey Magnuson, how about no returns? Well, even though there is an option for it when you can create your listing, there's really no such thing as no returns. If a buyer wants to return your item bad enough, they can make up anything. Maybe your item is in pristine condition, brand new. You just don't want to deal with returns. They can say not as described. I had an item, and I think I've told you guys this. I had an item that I stated, look, being sold for parts or repair. This tablet does not work. We can't even get the thing to turn on. So don't know what's going on with it. Maybe you could fix it, but it's being sold for parts or repair. This guy bought it, fixed it, got it to power on, and then wanted to return the item because it was password protected. Well, I had no way to know that. Even though it was parts or repair and I had no returns on there, they made me pay for the return label, and that was that. So the item actually came back in a different condition than what I shipped it in, but I guess in a better way. Crazy. And it comes to find out that it was just a simple Google search. I found a way to reset it anyway. So in doing so, I was able to, it turned that item into a used item that was now functioning, believe it or not. And so no returns means absolutely nothing. And I know that some of you guys have no returns, and if it works for you, it works for you. But I got to tell you, it may hurt your ranking in search. Your buyers are looking at that and they're wondering, why does this person not want me to return the item? Do they not stand behind the items that they're selling? And I think it's just not a good look. It will save you some money for the people who are, most people are honest people. Most buyers are honest. They're not going to lie to get a return. They're just going to shake it off and say, well, I learned my lesson. I'm not going to buy a no returns item ever again. For me, I find that the happy medium is offering returns 30 days, buyer pays, and that just seems to work well. Renee Kingsbury, I do buyer pays return and I get at least one a month. I never get it back. Right. I just had one timeout yesterday. Um, they claim that, hey, it didn't work. Well, if it's $100 item, it's not working. Why aren't you sending it back? Chances are they initially either didn't like it, it didn't work, they made use of it, whatever their story is, but it didn't matter to them to go back and close the return case because it didn't affect them. Whether a buyer opens a return and never comes back and closes the return, it's no skin off their butt. They have their item. They don't care that in some cases your item, your money is going to be frozen until that case is closed. And it's just this mindset that buyers have. They're so focused on themselves. And what are you going to do? I certainly don't want to send them a reminder. I know eBay does. Send them a reminder, either cancel the return or send it back, because maybe on the odd chance they did forget to send it back. And hey, I'd rather just time out and get the money and move on. Lola Perez says free returns is part of business. It is. Amazon's, from what I understand, at least like 2019, 2020, their retail business was a loser because of all the returns that they received and keep receiving. Only if you want the final fee discount, not worth it. And then Omni says that I sell video games and collectibles. It used to be like Walmart and the retail stores used to have it to where if you even opened the game, you couldn't take it back. Those are the days where you can actually copy the discs and all that stuff. Now it's really unheard of. They just take it. I just think that, in some cases, you need to keep that option open. If on the off chance you make a mistake, the buyer has an outlet to return the item, because you should own up to whenever you make a mistake when you're doing your listings. Maybe you listed something wrong. Maybe you piggybacked off of a current listing that was in error and you didn't see it, and the buyer was expecting that version of whatever and you sent them the regular version. That's your mistake and you should own up for it. Tommy Bernard podcast, no returns look scammy and lack of confidence in a product. I agree. Even though you may not be scammy, I agree. Generally only see it with new sellers that don't know better. I had a lady who wanted to return an item. This is like a few months back, and she was selling on eBay as well, and she had no returns. And I thought, the nerve of this person, wanting to return my item, but she herself wouldn't sell an item with returns. It just made me shake my head. eBay has money back guarantee, so no worries. Let's see. Now, going back to the clothing, Lola Perez, I put measurements they don't read. They don't read. And again, it's not that they don't want to read, I don't think. I think that a lot of people don't buy on their computers. I think a lot of people buy on their smartphone, on the go. Maybe they're sitting around at that doctor's appointment. They've got 20, 30, 40 minutes to wait, and they start shopping on eBay. And eBay doesn't make it easy to see those measurements or descriptions that you took all this time to put in your listing. That's why, a lot of people are very successful, in creating large stores. And all they do is they piggyback off of a current listing, utilize the same title, must work because it's sold, right? And they maybe put the quantity to the price and they hit submit and they move on to the next item. And they're not even putting a description in there. And it's because most of the buyers just aren't taking the time to try to read your description. That's the bottom line on that. Not saying I won't accept returns. I just don't offer. I did refund a customer when item arrived damaged. So, it's always good to own up to it, and you let them keep it as well. Okay. And then before I accepted returns, then someone tried to return an item that was not mine. Picture they submitted clearly wasn't the item I sent. They never shipped, so I won the case. And if you call scammers out on their bluff and say, look, you can return it, but it's going to affect your refund. That isn't the item I sold you. A lot of scammers, they probably won't reply because I find that scammers tend not to want to communicate on eBay, but they won't return it either. And they certainly won't cancel the return. The Aussie Hustler, to ship in Australia is a flat rate countrywide. I know exactly cost the item will cost to ship nationwide. It's different to the US postal system, but I will not offer free returns unless it's a mistake I've made. And, that's why I have it set up for buyer pays so that they have to prove that no, and really, they don't really have to prove it. But to me, I'm going to file a false INAD and get my whopping $6 back in case that happens. Let's see, Richard Howard. And I'm sorry, I'm kind of behind. I know you guys have a lot of comments. I'm kind of just scrolling down. So I'm about probably 15 minutes behind your actual comments. But I'm just trying to get through these. I don't want to skip many people. You guys take the time to type this out. I want to be able to acknowledge it. Richard Howard just sold one of the games about yesterday. That's as good a day, setting up 354 for sales today. So $354 for a sales day is pretty good. Depends on what your cost of goods is. That's always a factor. But the goal for me is to try to get around 50 to 60% in margin. That's my profit after my cost of goods, eBay fee, and shipping. And if I can do that, that turns if you made $354, you're going to make about 175 to 200 bucks. And that's kind of what we want. If you think, a lot of people that are new to this, they're trying to wonder what the potential is to making money. Can I replace a job with this? And if you think, if you can make $150 in sales, or actually after your costs. So let's say you have $250 sales day and you bring in $150. Think about that. That's now, of course, you got to pull your taxes out of that, but that's the equivalent of you working 10 hours at that $15 an hour job. And, you're not answering to anyone. You set your own schedule. Chances are it didn't take you 10 hours to get those items listed. And it just for me, I notice about doing this versus working that 9 to 5. Even when I was in management, I don't have to worry about just the strangest things that happen at the workplace. I don't have to worry about my boss just giving me problems. I used to have a lot of stress from that, and I don't have to deal with that anymore. So, yes, I think after you build up your business, eBay is a viable way to bring in steady income, but you got to build it right. Tommy Bernard, if you have to worry about returns, this probably is not the business to be in. It'll only be worse, never get better. Walk into Walmart and look at the cart loads. It's a write-off. The only problem that I have with right now with returns is I'm always focused on my metrics. So for me, it's like if you're under 5 or 6%, you should be okay. But I think you start getting on the very high. And if you hit a category of returns where you're considered very high, you have to pay an additional 5% fees on top of what you're already paying. And for me, that's I'm constantly working of trying to stay under that number. That's the only reason why I worry about returns, because I don't want them to be counting those returns against me. Unfortunately, eBay will count that return against you whether or not that customer returns that item or not, which I think is wrong, because a lot of times, like I said, that buyer will initially react and say, this isn't working, or it's not what I wanted. And then they realize, I can make this work, and they keep it, and you're stuck with that return on your record. Let's see. Dan Frisco, I hope that eBay is going to require payment immediately after auctions. Best offer accepted. I've been overrun by offers accepted, no payment from the buyer. 6 of them show in the past 2 weeks. And I agree. And I think what's happening is eBay has said something to the effect of, by the end of the year, your best offer, if you're offering a buyer a discount and they buy the item, they're going to be required to pay for the item right away. I think it's going to take a little longer for the auctions to work out. They have to deal with the credit card companies, and it's all about PCI compliance, payment card industry compliance. And you're going to get a lot, I think, of customers that are going to be doing chargeback, saying didn't recognize or authorized transaction, and they want to cover all of their their bases before they offer that. I don't think it's a question of whether or not they can make it work. I think there's a lot of legal ramifications to make sure that everyone gets their money. And I think that's what's the holdup on that. Let's take a look here. They got the Thrift Shop Hustler doing some accounting while I listen, just like you listening while you wait for eBay customer service. You know what? The good thing about a lot of these live streams is if you like to work and listen to eBay related content, you don't have to worry about, that 15-minute video ending and some random video starting again on YouTube. And you're like, I don't want to listen to that while I'm working. Live streams, you can listen to a long video. And even if you're watching this as a replay, and it's eBay related. And I find that when I'm listening to something that's eBay related, it kind of keeps me motivated, keeps me in that eBay mindset, and I get more done. And just kind of how I look at it. But everyone's a little different. John Doe, I'm not sure if you're aware, but if you have no returns allowed and they open a return for defective as a remorse purchase or whatever, you won't qualify for a 50% refund. That is absolutely correct, because you have to offer at least 30-day returns as a top-rated seller to utilize the refund tool. And if you are not a top-rated seller, you have to offer 30-day free returns. Now, the funny thing, and they may have fixed this last year, but early last year, I had one where I had no returns, and they sent back something totally different, and it still allowed me to utilize the refund tool. So, but as far as the policy, I noticed that the policy may say one thing and it gets enforced a little differently. And you're right when it comes to that. Let's take a look here. Do I sell on Amazon? I do sell on Amazon, not as much as I used to, and I still have items up on Amazon. I been kind of turned off by it because of the I was selling a couple toners that are brand new that I got into liquidation. It's a knockoff company, right? So they're already making this toner as a knockoff to fit, I think, a Canon printer. And they try to say that I'm peddling a counterfeit of their item. Well, first of all, nobody makes a counterfeit of someone who's making a counterfeit or a replication. So, I got a knock on that for 30 days. It says my account health is at risk. So for me, it's like, all right, well, it's 90 days. I have to sit here with that on there. So I'll just kind of wait it out. I'll do other things. I won't list on Amazon. So that's kind of what I do. It's if you think eBay is strict, you think eBay gives zero, you can fill in the blank, to their sellers. Amazon is even worse. And so you got to be really careful. Let's see. Do you have to ship before you get paid? I personally don't, because my account is set up to where I've established rapport with eBay, thousands of successful transactions. And at a certain point, I can have 3-day handling set up, and eBay will process my payment the following day after they receive it, after it clears the pending status. And it takes them a business day to get it to me. And, in theory, I could have 3 days handling. I haven't even packaged it up yet, and it's hit my bank account. You just got to build your business. You got to be a reputable seller, continue selling consistently. Now you can maybe do this part-time and sell, one here, one there, and maybe sell 10 over the year, and you've had your account for a year. They're still going to consider you as a new seller. You haven't built up your account enough. So you just got to keep being consistent. That's all I can say. Try to get 5, 10, 15 items a day listed, however you have to do it. But that's what I would recommend. And then you'll find that you don't have to wait till that buyer gets the item to get paid. Let's see here. Thrift Shop Hustler. Managed payments has been a blessing for us. Reporting is so much easier. Some people like it. Some people hate it. And I think the some people hate it group is because they want their money now because PayPal did it. But what I've said to many people, and I keep seeing a lot of remarks come up on my older videos when I talked about managed payments when it first came out, is that PayPal spoiled us. And, you can go right now, go grocery shopping, use your debit card to pay for your groceries. That company is letting you take that merchandise, and that money hasn't hit their account yet. If you go home and then log into your bank, it's still going to say pending. And they're going to log into their bank and it's still going to say pending. It's going to take that next business day and maybe longer for some banks before that money gets processed to that account. And, I think a lot of people have a hard time grasping that, because for many years they lived the PayPal life where, you get that money right away, and it's just not reality. And because eBay is not a bank, they're not a financial institution, they don't have the leeway that PayPal has to decide that they want to just front the money to their customers. And therefore they didn't do it. I think they would have maybe done themselves, they would have got more buy-in to say, look, the first year we do managed payments, we're going to let you guys have instant access to your money. But after the first year, it's going to be based on when that payment clears. I think they would have done themselves a better service for their sellers if they would have done that. But unfortunately, that's not the case. Let's take a look here. We have Deborah Holcomb. I'm trying to catch up in the chat, so I am skipping some, so I apologize. I tried HBA with no luck because I couldn't find a supplier that sold reliable stock at good value. Tried Wholesale Ninja and nothing ever sold. HBA is health and beauty. And, I see and someone asked me, why don't I mention other YouTubers on my channel? I do watch a lot of YouTube as well. But this particular YouTuber, she pushes Wholesale Ninja to the point where I almost decided to buy some. But I did my research and found exactly what you said here, is that there's a lot of people that are getting this Wholesale Ninja stuff that don't know what they're looking at. It looks good, but they get on there and they start listing it, and they're not making a whole lot of money. And I don't know what, and I think this is Lindy Glenn that I'm talking about. She gives a lot of helpful information. I watch her stuff like a lot of you guys do. But, I think it's one of those things where you get a sponsor on your program and you pretty much have to be their mouthpiece no matter how you really feel about the product. I don't think she's making a killing off of Wholesale Ninja unless they're giving her a great deal. But I can tell you, if she's getting a great deal, because she's getting something for promoting them, you guys aren't. That's for sure. And that's one thing I've been working, and I think I told you guys this, and I've been working with one of the liquidators to try to get you guys some kind of a discount on their merchandise. But I've made it very clear, and I've been in contact with the CEO. I made it very clear, you're going to continue doing the things you've done. I'm not interested. So, the idea is they're cleaning up their act. They're utilizing a lot of the feedback that I've given them in hopes that, it can, in my mind, return back to a reputable liquidation company. And I just haven't seen it yet. So until that kind of stuff changes, um, I'm not the kind of person that will go and sign some kind of sponsorship deal, to make a little money on the side at the peril of my audience. It doesn't make me look good if I say ABC Liquidation over here has a deal and here's your discount code, and you buy it and you get boxes of stuff that you can't move. Chances are you're not going to really trust me anymore. And I don't want to lose your trust. The fact that we have 8,000 subscribers, we have 53 people watching this show right now, and probably hundreds more watching it after the fact. There's a reason for that. And hopefully you guys trust what I'm saying. And I think my credibility means more than making a few bucks on the side on you guys. And it saddens me that you get people that like you, Deborah, who find out the hard way that you're sitting on a bunch of stuff that's never going to sell. And all the while, these YouTubers are just touting it like it's the best thing. Yeah, you might have got a bunch of merchandise that have no stickers on it. You got a bunch of merchandise that they were able to box up for you, and you didn't have to deal with the pallet. But what else did you get? It's time to move on from those kind of companies. And I only wish that other YouTubers would do the same. Stop trying to make money off of your viewers. Bottom line, because I tell you, if an opportunity came by to where I could do a sponsorship, fine, but it better work out for my viewers. They better get something in the deal. They need to get some really good deal, discount code, and they better love the merchandise. Otherwise, I'm not interested. That's not why I made this channel. Okay, so all the things. A new seller funds are held by eBay until the item is received by the buyer. Do not hold the item until funds are released by eBay. eBay is not releasing funds until tracking, so item is received. And right, so you're building that trust with eBay. You're building that trust. They're only going to give you 100 items when you first start out as a new seller, and only when you have their trust are they going to give you more, and are they going to take these restrictions off of your account. Take your lumps while you're new. It works just like you got a new job somewhere. Remember when I first started working at, you guys probably figured out by watching my other videos, but I'm not saying their name, but I worked with the railroad at a call center for 26 years. And when I first started, seniority, you had the worst shifts, you had the worst pay. You got called in to do overtime, forced overtime because of your seniority. And it kind of works that way with eBay. You have seniority, you have to pay your dues, and it's not always going to work the way you want it, like you see how maybe I get it or other sellers get it, but that is earned. You earn that after showing that you're dependable. Got to think of it like this. eBay has a reputation. They have a company. They're trying to keep buyers wanting to buy your items. And if you're one of those fly-by-night sellers that can care less about your buyers, or just trying to make a quick buck and leave without maybe delivering on the merchandise, they want to make sure you're not that guy. John Doe says, I had funds held for a return that's now almost 60 days, and they still haven't closed the return. They keep pointing to a new policy. They don't close returns upon request. So that's a little extensive. And so I would ask them, if I was in your shoes, I would ask them, and probably I wouldn't even bother asking a frontline rep. I would contact eBay for Business through Facebook. But if you're on the phone, ask to speak to a supervisor. You're going to get someone that has a little more experience than the person that is on the front line. And you need to challenge them. Okay, I'm in help and contact on eBay. Tell me where to find this policy. And I want to see the policy, so I stop, bothering you guys. I'll follow your policy. Show it to me. I challenge that because there is no policy. Their policy is the buyer has 30 days to open a return from when they receive the item. Within that 30 days, the buyer can open a return, and they have 15 days to put that item in the mail. After 15 days, eBay gives them an additional 5 business days to get that item to you or in the mail as like a grace period. Okay. Now, a lot of your frontline reps will say, well, you have 15 days from the date that eBay has given them. A lot of times you look at the return details, it'll say, we asked the buyer to return it by the 22nd of August. Well, that's the cutoff date before the 5 business days starts. It's not 15. The problem is you have a lot of reps who wing it and have not been trained properly. You get these people in the Philippines, and that's where most of this bad information is coming from. One of the 2 call centers that eBay set up in the Philippines, and none of them are sellers. None of them can sell on eBay. Yet when they come on the phone, like I think a couple of the departments, they come on the line saying, I'm an eBay expert. There ain't no way you're an eBay expert if you've never listed an item in your life. Sorry. And more of the eBay experts are based in the United States, but they put them on the front lines and have taken pretty much all their power away. So they can't even help you without going to the departments they've set up in the Philippines. Makes no sense at all. I can go on for hours and hours about call centers because that's my background. But eBay has it so bass-ackwards, it's not even funny. John Doe, I told them I have bills to pay, and just like anyone else at this point, they never responded, but the funds are released. The case is still open, though. Well, I got to tell you, it wouldn't be open that long. I would be on the phone with them, and I would, well, first of all, try eBay for Business on Facebook Messenger. Chances are they are going to step in, and I mean, they were replying to me into like through 7:30 p.m. Pacific time last night on some issues that I had, and they're fine. Spoke to a representative by the name of Paige, who knows I have a channel. Paige, if you're watching, hello, thank you for your help. It's unfortunate that the good reps get a bad rep because there's more bad reps than good reps. Michelle Castaneda, it's time to leave eBay. I agree if I had another way to make money. Okay. I'm not going to make money on Bonanza. I'm certainly not going to make the kind of money that I make on eBay on Mercari. Marketplace is a hot mess. I've been trying to sell a chair, new in the box, for weeks. And I've been getting that. If you guys have sold on Facebook Marketplace, I get that message. Paching, is it available? Paching, is it available? And yeah, it's available. Come and get it. And finally, someone came and got it. And I gave them $20 off. I said, look, if you can come today, I'll give you $20 off. It shouldn't have to be that difficult. And eBay is the only place that I can think of next to Amazon. And you don't want to, if you think eBay's bad and doesn't care about us, try Amazon for a while. eBay's the only place that I can think of that has the traffic that we need in order to be successful. And if you have it set up for instant payment, you don't have to worry about people constantly asking if it's available. Either buy it or don't. Move on. Omni says 60 days. I'd contact customer support. It's only supposed to be like 2 weeks. Speak to someone that's not in the Philippines. I used the online chat feature. Return was closed immediately. Yeah. I think a lot of people who don't have experience dealing with call centers just take the first answer they're given. Chances are very high that the first answer you're given is a lazy answer, a very quick answer. Reps, the mindset that reps have. Now, this is coming from someone who used to be a rep on the phone for many, many years. I've coached reps who've taken phone calls for many, many years. They don't want you on the phone. They do not enjoy talking to you. In fact, when they get home, they don't want to talk on the phone. They want you off their line. And if that means they give you a quick flip answer, that's what it means. But they don't want to go and do research and see what the policy is. Now, I'm saying they as in general. There's a lot of good reps out there who don't fit into that mold. But in general, there's a lot of lazy people, because guess what happens when that phone gets hung up? If it's a slow day, their neighbor, they get to have a conversation with them. They get to participate. Have you ever been on the phone with eBay and you heard in the background some laughter going on? Well, that's reps who are waiting for a call, and they're having a good time talking about what they saw on TV or ate for dinner last night. And then you come beeping in on their line and they want you off the phone. So that's why it's better to deal with eBay for Business than it is to deal with a rep over the phone. I do it it's almost comical for me, but I do it because, like I said, I would rather wait on hold while I'm working. I know exactly who I need to speak to. I know exactly when I'm getting BS'd, and I can work while listing all this stuff while I'm on hold with my phone on speaker, and I don't have to type stuff back and forth. I do not like typing back and forth. My problem, unfortunately, with eBay for Business, that's the only way I can get anything done. Usually, I save the tougher cases for them. Alan Thompson, when I list and fill out items in detail and save the draft, and I take pictures, then I go to drafts, and a lot of items are not there. I have to fill out items again. I haven't heard of that one. I have been lately trying to create drafts so that, let's say I want 20 listed a day, but I'm able to get 30. I can keep 10 in reserve. And when I have a bad day or slow day, like I'm going to this ASD this week to try to meet some vendors, I may not have the kind of time that I usually have to list items. And I want some items in queue so that, I can just go onto my phone and run my drafts, and I don't have to worry about it. And it's not going to hurt my eBay's algorithm. For me, you need to be consistent, and that means listing every day. However, that's one way to do it. Michelle Castaneda, is it become harder to get sales on eBay, or is it just me? It's that time of year. I think, I don't know how long you've been selling for. Last year was an exception to the rule where the summertime is slower than it is normally. Now, I had a bad summer last year because of a number of things that I've talked about before, but I don't think it had anything to do with the market. I think it had everything to do with COVID last year. This year, we still have the same COVID. We don't have the lockdowns, at least in the United States. And people are out and about spending their money. Now, I've noticed with me for my sales, mine is starting to pick up. My sales are starting to pick up. Now, my store is about twice as big as it's ever been. So I've been really busting my butt getting items up for sale because when they say you can't sell what the customer doesn't see, it's as true as it gets. Get your items listed. If anything, look, you're not making a lot of sales right now and it's not motivating. I get it. But if you start looking at from the standpoint is I'm going to list more items now so that maybe I will get more sales now, but by the time Q4 rolls around, when the people are back buying stuff, I've got more items in my store than I would have had I not put the effort into it. And that's my goal. That's what I'm seeing. Things are starting to pick up. I'm getting a lot of sales, and I'm going to keep doing it. I'm going to keep trying to build that store up and get as many items in front of my buyer as I can. Ultimately, we're here to make money, right? That's a formula, but you have to just motivate yourself to do it. And I've been working my butt off. I mean, my wife asked me why I look so horrible today. I probably still do. I haven't got much sleep. I'm just constantly on the go working, and it's just how I'm wired. Maybe you're not wired that way. Maybe find ways to get yourself motivated, but get more items up. Only thing I can say, maybe lower your prices if you can. Offer sales. I noticed, at the beginning of the month in August, my sale went off. At the end of July, my sale that I had for July stopped, and I totally just lost train of thought on that. I thought, wow, why are my sales dropping? And like mid-month, I'm like, oh, that's why my sale ended. So I started the sale back up, and 2 days later, my sales were great. You get that bonus for having sales and doing things like that. Let's see. I'm trying to catch up with all the messages. I apologize. I have the message me and handle it. Properly and package a collectible tin that was damaged in transit. Felt so terrible. I gave him 100% refund. That happens too. Let's see. People wanting to know, Michelle, how much are you promoting? I can tell you that you need to promote something. You need to promote, I would say, at least 1%. I have had items that were just not promoted. The moment I put a promoted on there, they started to sell. You just want to do, and think about it. I have a $10 item. Okay. If I put 1%, then what is that? That's what, 10 cents? That I'm going to lose out if the item sells versus losing out on $9.90 if it doesn't sell. So it's that adage of stepping over a dollar to pick up a quarter. Let's see. Videos for life. Actually, I see sellers selling items I sell with over 1,000 feedback, offering no returns. Even seen a seller with almost 70K feedback with no returns on all listings. Wow. I guarantee you, though, with all those listings, they've encountered some buyers who found a way to send that item back. The Monster Loon. I usually put one line in my description so I can submit it. When I go to eBay as a buyer, I usually don't bother to read descriptions. Most people don't. But we wonder, I took that time to put all that information in. Why are you now saying that I made a mistake and you're sending it back saying that I was wrong? It's because they don't read. And I think some of it's laziness, but I guarantee you, if eBay put that description in the first page when you first pull up that listing on the phone app, there'd be less people being surprised when they receive that item without a charger or whatever you're selling it. Michelle says, promoted listings have gotten me nowhere. eBay just sucks and it takes your money. And they are money hungry, I got to tell you, and they do stink. A lot of policy enforcement. I am not the biggest eBay fan. I am not a fanboy of eBay, but I do realize where a good portion of my income comes from, and it's from eBay. And it's that adage that I tell you, it's their game, their rules. We have the choice to play it or not. Maybe they don't offer free parking on Monopoly, but if we want to play Monopoly, we have to play by their rules. It's sort of the same example. Omni says, is there any advantage to not requiring immediate payment on best offers? Well, we can't offer immediate payment on those. Now I don't think that there is a way. I don't offer best offers. I do offers to watchers, but I don't think, maybe I need to start offering best offers on my items, but I don't recall there ever being an immediate payment. Correct me if I'm wrong. Maybe they've changed that. Omni says live streams are great when you're listing and taking photos. I agree. Let's see. Dan Frisco. If you have a built-in customer base and buys a lot of products from you, they want to pay one lump sum and say 1 to 2 weeks. That's a thing. And I'm getting caught up. I'm trying to catch up into some discussions you guys are having on the sidebar. I got to tell you, when you're doing these YouTube videos, it is very hard to continually discuss different topics and pay attention to what's going on in the chat. So I apologize. It seems like I'm kind of jumping off on tangents. Let's take a look here if I have some more questions. Yeah, I'm not trying to bash Lindy. She's doing her best. She has a big following. I can only hope one day that this show will get to the kind of following that she has. I'm not questioning her at all. I mean, if she really finds that she's making money with Wholesale Ninjas, then awesome. But a lot of people aren't. And there you go. I don't have to say it. She gives away a pallet of video. That's the kind of thing that they do. But I mean, I guess I could arrange to have horse manure dropped off at your front door. It won't do you guys much good if you have to sort through it. I ain't going to do anything like that unless it really, really benefits you guys. I just won't buy from a company that will send subpar product to their customers, and maybe it's decent product, but it's not stuff that's going to make you $20-$30 a pop. And for me, maybe I'll never get a sponsorship because of that. Maybe my aspirations are a little bit too high, but I really feel that anytime a YouTuber comes on here, asks for your trust, they better deliver on that and give you something really good for your time. And I haven't found that yet, but know that I'm not going to just pass off anything to get a few views. I want to make sure that anything I offer you guys is going to be great for you, and it's going to be. I'd rather offer you like $100 gift card than do something like that. To be honest with you, haven't gotten that far on my channel yet. Once it grows high enough, I may do something like that. But for right now, I haven't found exactly what I can do for you. But I'm working on things behind the scenes. Just know that. But only if it's to benefit you guys. Dan says could be that they're cherry picking and giving her decent product for the promotion. I mean, to me, if I had somebody that was promoting my stuff, I'm sending that person the best stuff that I have available because that's what you guys get to see. Now, one random person, buying this lot, the same lot, expecting what she got, doesn't get it. What are they going to do? Are they going to really get 100,000 people in front of them so they can show them what they didn't get? No. And it makes sense now I'm not saying that's what's going on, but it wouldn't shock me at all if that happened, if that was the case. Hey, all, hit that like button if you enjoy the content, help support the channel. Yeah, guys, please put a lot of work and time in this. This is one of those things. All day long, I've been working out in the garage, getting my listings done, and I'm like, I'm not feeling it today for the live stream. But and we have times that no matter what we do in life, we're just not feeling it. But when I first came on, kind of getting the feeling, about 30 minutes in, I felt like I kind of got back into the flow and wanting to do live streams, but it just takes a lot of time, energy. So, that like button, it's all I ask you guys to do is hit that like button. If you want to be seeing me more often, hit that subscribe button. It does help the channel. Tells YouTube that we're putting out decent content, and I certainly would appreciate it. ATX Brit, you've been great. Thanks for all the info. I'm just selling collectible dolls that are from my personal collection. Hear that there's a lot of collectors out there for that kind of thing. So yeah, it's a good start. Make sure that you're checking your comps and you're pricing your items accordingly. A lot of times we tend to overprice. Ever been to that yard sale where that $30 item, that guy's selling it for 20 because it's brand new for 30, but he's already opened it. It's not brand new and it is a yard sale and you're trying to give them 10. They won't budge. Don't be that seller. Be flexible with your prices. Source so that you can. Lynn Marie says, I'm having a hard time reaching a human on eBay. ebay.com/seller help. Go down to the very bottom of that page, click need more help or whatever, and go down and click on contact us. And then you'll select seller and the different reasons. Find a reason. We're off to you're on your PC when you're doing this. Find a reason where it shows on the left side that's going to say, we'll call you back within 2 minutes, 10 minutes. I find that I click on one of the 8 reasons, I find one, even though it's not anywhere near my problem. At least get someone on the phone. But try that or Facebook Marketplace, not Marketplace, Facebook Messenger, eBay for Business. That helps as well. Yeah, first rule, don't buy anything from any YouTubers. You'll be safe. I mean, a lot of YouTubers, this is a big secret about YouTube, eBayers on YouTube, they're spending their time and they want to make money. Now, they may have a program they want you to buy. They may have a Patreon group they want you to join. I find and I've found and I've learned over the last 2 years as just someone who watches YouTube, you can get all you need as a seller with the free content. And I've kind of kicked around the idea of doing like the membership program, and it may get to a point where, if I get it, so many questions, because I like to answer as many questions as I can. You guys send me your questions or put your comments down below and your questions down below. It's going to get to a point I just won't have time to get to them all. And maybe have some kind of a membership thing where, you pay a few bucks a month and you have access to whatever information I can help you with. And I make it a point to answer those questions before I get to the other ones. But it's more about just utilizing your time. I think it's foolish to offer all your time for nothing when, like you have a garage full of things out in your garage, but that's not the main intention of this channel. But I think after it grows to a certain point, you do have to offer that kind of a service for those who really, really want your help. And that may be something I do, but I'm not trying to rip people off. I'm not trying to sell programs or anything like that. And I've had a couple people actually say that I was trying to sell programs. I'd like to know because I haven't made one yet. Deborah, yes, eBay reps wing it all the time. I'm dealing with the bad info from them now because I followed their advice and the customer received the item. eBay refunded $160, has been kicked upstairs. Whenever that the number one way you know you're getting BS'd by a rep is, have you contacted your buyer? That is the absolute worst advice a rep can give you, because most often than not, buyers are not going to be quick to remove a negative feedback for you. They're not going to do anything for you. They don't care about you. They care about their situation. Most buyers aren't going to try to help you as a seller out. And that's a quick answer for them to get off the phone and get back to the little side party that they're having with the people next to them answering phone calls. Did want to thank eBay Addicts. Thank you, Jeff, for the $5 super chat. Good looking out. Certainly, I appreciate the time that you spend interviewing a lot of newer resellers or new eBayers that also sell on eBay. And thank you for the great interviews that you do. Anybody out there who haven't checked out his channel, check out eBay Addicts. He does a lot of different interviews. And, you know, the good thing about those programs is you get to kind of see how people have started. You get to hear, what they do on a daily basis. And a lot of times you can incorporate some ideas that they may discuss that you never even thought about. So again, thank you, Jeff. I appreciate that. Here's a little advice from Rated Forever. U.S. sellers who ship to Canada prior to the global shipping program, how are your sales to Canada, and how are your sales now to Canada with the global shipping? Thanks. I can tell you that I've sold maybe 3 or 4 items to Canada through global shipping. I personally like global shipping because it's a one and done thing. I ship it to Erlanger, Kentucky. I don't have to worry about just anything. I ship it out as soon as they get it. They package it up and ship it to Canada or to wherever. Now, I know that international shipping is cheaper for the buyer and for the seller if you go to somewhere like pirateship.com, do their international shipping. You guys know about Archie. That's Biscuit Butt, who watches this channel a lot. Good friend of mine. He's also in Vegas. And he's tried to convince me, you need to go international. I think it's international priority mail or also international first class. And you may make a few bucks off of that shipping as a seller. I'm just not interested. I just want it shipped. I don't want to bother with it. If an item shows up broken, if an item shows up where the customer is saying, hey, it's not working right, well, my story because I'm shipping out good items anyway. I have great feedback. I don't rip off, buyers. My story is, look, I don't know how this item was handled when it left the United States. So it could have been thrown off of that 747 onto the tarmac, which happens a lot. And that could have broken it. And eBay will step in and just say, have your buyer open a return, and they'll get their money back. And it's worked for me. But as far as the Canada, it's been fine. I haven't had any problems. But yeah, leave your comments down below in the chat, or if you're watching the replay, help Rated Forever with that question. I'd appreciate it. Let's see. I'm afraid to ship outside the U.S. Don't be. I have had nothing but good transactions from those folks. And, anytime there's a problem is when they threw that item off the 747. When an ad has a lame description, I don't buy it. And that must have been from an earlier discussion. I agree. That's definitely, if you're looking at an ad, unless it's something that is very rare and there's not more of, I'll move on. Says, you're okay, flipping ain't easy. Appreciate you, brother, man. Thank you for showing up to the live chat. I haven't seen you before. Hopefully you can make it a thing. Tommy, anytime a YouTuber that starts depending on selling crap to viewers instead of just growing the channel and growing their own business isn't worth watching. I agree with that. But sometimes the line gets blurry. It's really hard to tell what they're trying to do. Are they trying to get you to subscribe and pay that $35 a month? Because 1,000 people subscribing to your channel at $35 a month, that's 35 grand. Okay. and that's doing a lot more for them than the maybe $1,000 a month that large YouTuber. Now I'm saying a large YouTuber. There's a lot of large YouTubers that are making more than $1,000 a month, but thousands a month. It's a lot more, because someone like me, someone like Jeff, we have a smaller channel as it compares to a lot of these. There's like a handful of big time YouTube channels. Most of you guys know who they are. They're making thousands a month, but then they blur the lines by having you pay that $35 a month times I've got 1,000 people in my Patreon, and now that's 35 grand that they're getting. And just got to kind of be careful. Not to say that they're not giving out good information, but I think a lot of times, go back to those larger channels. They're giving out a lot of repetitive information. I can go back. There's one that I'm not going to put them on blast because I have no reason to. They've given good information, but it seems like their information is repetitive and it's the same message over and over again, but they're getting the views. And for me, I have a problem putting out videos if it's the same message over and over again. Captain Photon, what up, FAE? Good to see you. How you doing? Thank you for showing up to the chat. He says, my prices are high right now, but I need the money, especially September will be better. I think it's going to get better, but it all starts, you make your money in this game sourcing. And, that sounds ridiculous when you first hear it. But if you really think about it, the cheaper you can get your items for, the more flexibility you're going to get to make the money, because customers want that deal. I mean, people are still hurting right now out there. There's a lot of people that are really in bad shape. And think about it. I don't want to get political. I never do at this show, and I'm not going to. I'm an independent voter, so that's about all I'll tell you about that. But very soon you're going to have this crisis where people are going to be evicted from their homes. And once this crisis is over with and the landlords want their money, they're not going to have money to buy your item. They're not going to have money for anywhere to live. And I think that's really going to hurt us once that happens as resellers. So find your sales now. If someone offers you an item that's a deal on an item that's maybe lowballing you, if it makes you a little bit of money, maybe not what you wanted, take it, because you never know how good Q4 is going to be. I'm hopeful that it's going to be good. I'm gearing up because I hope it's good. It's always been good, but things aren't looking too good in our economy right now. I'm just telling you stuff I've been reading, watching. We do with what we have right now. Right now, it's not bad. With inflation, it almost makes me wonder, and maybe what your thoughts on this, what inflation's doing. If I have, a garage full of stuff, does inflation positively impact the value of your items, or is that only when it's new? I don't know. Maybe I'm not educated enough to know, but it's definitely something that I've thought about. Definitely don't watch anyone that does members or Patreon. None of the info is even theirs info to sell. We've all tried. We've all learned for free from others, and most of it, 99% of the information you're going to find. Just scroll through some videos, you'll find it. Let's take a look here. TechPoint can go in and talk about a very important issue that's happening now regarding the seller metrics. What is that very important issue? I'd like to know. Please put that in the chat if you can. Decided to live scribe pen I sold was not allowed to go overseas. They funded the buyer and kept the profit. eBay kept the pen. Well, I've had a couple transactions with global shipping that, you get that email saying, oh, success, your item was shipped to the buyer. And then you'd get some, I actually have them archived. I have like 3 or 4 of them from this year where it came back saying, your item is not eligible to ship to that person's country, but don't worry. Your money is not going to be withheld, and we're not going to ship the item. We're going to give the buyer their money back. So I haven't had that experience. If you guys have, put your comments down below. Maybe it's based on your status as a seller, but I haven't had that problem. What's the best way not to get scammed from chargeback buyers selling high-end sports cards? Well, you really can't. I hate to say. You have your 50% refund tool that you can use. If they send you back, you send out a Michael Jordan rookie, and they send you back Mookie Blaylock's fourth-year card with crease in the middle, you're stuck. And now, I say that from an eBay perspective. You can go to ic3.gov, okay, and file. It's an equivalent to a police report. That's the federal government's internet fraud website. And you're going to submit all the information you have, photos of the item, maybe the eBay item number, the transaction, everything you can. They're going to give you a case number. You then, and I've been told by 2 reps from the United States from eBay that there's no written policy on this, but you call them with that number and that information, and they will help you get your money back. And a lot of times, eBay will basically go after the buyer, and it's like opening a case against the buyer. I have never gone that far, but there's been times recently where I've almost decided to file that ic3.gov, but you're doing it under penalty of perjury. I have no reason to lie, and I wouldn't, but I just don't want to go that far just yet. But I'm sure the day will come, like that router or that server that I had last year, that someone opened a false return on me, and they sent me back just something different. It wasn't even the same item. And, it definitely is no good. I would have filed on that. This has been some great content. Flipping ain't easy. Well, I'm glad you guys enjoy the content. I enjoyed talking. I enjoy talking about what I do. This is what I do. This is what I live. So it's easier to talk to you guys about what I experience. I'm just glad that there's other people out there that are, interested in what I have to say. So I thank you guys. Really, really thank you guys. We've been watching you for some time now and have received lots of great info from your channel. We've really appreciated that. You've always been a straight shooter. And, hey, I thank you for your support. I really do. And, it's without you guys, I can't do any of this stuff. I can't. It's your program as far as I'm concerned. I'm just, it's an obligation that I've signed up for. I'm glad to do it. My only regret is that I haven't been able to give you better content sometimes. I'm my biggest critic, and sometimes I put out videos that I think are good, and they just don't get a lot of views. So what you guys can do to help me is to, if you know someone who sells on eBay, if you have friend or family that are doing eBay, share a video or 2, share my channel, subscribe, hit that like button, subscribe, hit that notification bell. I want to thank you guys, each and every one of you. We have 59 in the that are watching right now live. It's awesome. I think this is probably one of the biggest audiences we've had watching the live stream. So from the bottom of my heart, I want to thank you guys for taking the time, spending this time with me. We're going to wrap up the program, but guys, just know, no matter how good sales are going for you right now, it's going to get better, but just know it's part of the business, and flipping ain't easy. And we're going to talk to you guys here sometime in the next few days. Have a great start to your week.